On the vehicle emissions standards, the opposition leader was out again today. He was at Parramatta in your friend Andrew Charlton's seat of Parramatta at a dealership, talking up the impact of the emissions standards. Is it true, though, that the government, if they land a compromise with industry, that they can get to a point that keeps everyone happy?
Look, I think in this, and in relation to so many other things, particularly industrial relations, you just heard Tony Burke on it, these guys really are in planet la-la when it comes to the way the world works. The price increases that may come from this change, which starts at the beginning of next year, are enormous. A LandCruiser, $25,000 more. A Hilux is about $17,000 more. Ranger, $18,000 more. These are huge price increases to absorb. And everyone said, you hear Labor saying, and Andrew said it before, look, it'll force them to bring their top model, force them to bring electric vehicles to Australia. Have you ever tried to buy a non-standard car in this country? I'm a manual driver. It's virtually impossible to get a manual car in any range. Sure, you can get them in the UK, you can get them in Europe, you can get them in the US if you want them, but no one drives manual there. It's impossible to get the complete range of cars here. Exactly the same thing will happen. These cars that Aussies love will just be priced out of the market. I played highway ute bingo yesterday, which is to try and get 3 utes in a row in the peninsula, and let me tell you, I was winning. They love their utes. My tradies love their utes. People going to the tip love their utes. People picking up their kids love their utes and their SUVs. And it's the cars Aussies love that are going to get smashed.
Yeah, I've heard there's quite a few in the seat of Dunkley as well, according to those that have been there in the last few days. Let's finish on this other matter, which the government's accusing your colleague James Patterson of whipping up fear over concerns expressed about the time frame that security officials and government officials are taking to approve visas out of the Palestinian territories. 2,000, just over 2,000 visas granted. There've only been 300 or so, a bit over 300 people returned, given what a nightmare it is there. Is this being overstated by the opposition?
Mate, the government says fear, I say fact, right? We know 2,200 visas have been granted. Only 300 have come so far, but the other 2,200 are at liberty to come to Australia at their will. We also know that in terms of the Gazan regime, it is run by Hamas, an accepted terrorist organisation. So when we do background checks on people wanting to come here, what do we do? Do we ring up the terrorist organisations? They just tell us which ones are, we need to be worried about. There is not a government we can interact with to seek guidance on whether we may or may not be bringing people of concern to this country. The suggestion that came out last week that it's taking an hour or a day to approve visas from that part of the world is madness. We need to be certain, we need to have some degree of confidence that people come to Australia, come so willing to abide by the values and the laws of our country. Right? I was there a couple of months ago. There's no competent government in Gaza at the moment who can give you assurances about the backgrounds of people applying to come here.
The government says the same officials, the same sorts of timelines were seen when the former coalition government approved visas out of Syria or in the past from Afghanistan.
And I think they're completely different situations. That part of the world is an active war zone. There is no competent government overseeing the Palestinian territories at the moment, certainly not in Gaza. They may be in the West Bank, but not in Gaza. And so we have no viable government to interact with to ask for the backgrounds of those who are trying to apply to come here. Now, and then what evidence have we got from those people themselves? Have they got documents in place? There's been mass movement of people. I'm not sure exactly what they're assessing these people on, but I really hope those people are doing as good a job as they did in the past.
Zoe McKenzie, we'll see you next week when Parliament returns.
Thanks, Kieran.